Hello everyone, this is Kim Beegler, owner of Ewethful Fiber Farm and Mill, and we're here at the wool mill today. We're back at the washing machine getting ready to wash up some llama fiber, which I just washed some the other day, but it was the first time in probably a couple years since I have done any llama. So this is exciting, and it will most likely all get blended with wool. But let's do this, right? So if you are new to the channel, I own a wool mill. We are farmers in Oregon in the Willamette Valley. We have fiber animals. We just do all of the things, hand spinning, knitting, wool. That's what I talk about here. And if you're coming back, thank you. I'm excited to have you back. The Ewethful community, which is in person and online, in Patreon, all these places, all of us in it. This is an inclusive community, meaning that all skin colors, all gender identities, all sexes, all religions, all socioeconomic backgrounds, we all are welcome here because we are all equal. And that is the vibe that is in this community, and it is vibrant and wonderful and welcome if that is your thing. Let's talk about some llama, shall we? So I got this fiber actually from a shepherd I know, and this llama is her guard llama. So she doesn't raise llamas. This is just like she shore it and she shared some of it. So that is exciting, and it's really lovely. It's this beautiful dark, natural dark, brown, black color. It's got a little bit of guard hairs in it, but nothing that makes me that concerned. Like I'll pull a chunk out because it was right there and it was easy, but I am, sometimes the guard hairs will drop out as you process it, and they will continue to drop out as you spin it. And there may be a few guard hairs in the yarn, and it's not the end of the world. So, and I got more llama at Flock and Fiber from an actual llama breeder, which we're gonna work with some of that here in just a minute after I get this into the washer. And I'm opening it up a little extra because I think I did a pretty good job already, but when I put it through the tumbler, so a tumbler is kind of like a really giant bingo number machine, those things that like you crank it and like the balls roll around and then you open it up and pull the ball. It basically looks like a bigger size that, but you put fiber in it, of course. And what it does is it literally it's electric and it tumbles, and then VM and dirt can fall out of the fiber. So the fiber is getting tumbled. And what can happen is that the fiber can get a little tumbled and jumbled up and tightened on itself. So I'm just going through and making sure that it's kind of there's no big spots where it's too jumbled that it's going to turn into a felty mass once I get it into the carder. And I'm just opening it up a bit to get out those spots. I usually do this when I'm pulling it out of the tumbler, and then I do it again when we're at the washer, because I'm down in the barn just doing a quick job of it down there. So, but I think I did a pretty nice job of this. If it's not freezing, I can take a little bit longer, which we have not gotten much freezing this year. So anyway, I'm just opening it up. We're gonna put it in the washer. Because this is llama, it does not have lanolin. That is a sheep thing. So we are going to go ahead. It should just I've tumbled it, which is the hardest part of camelid fibers, is getting the dirt out. That is the biggest reason I tumble. You all know I can handle some level of VM, but the dirt from camelids, I cannot handle. Because I would open this bag and just a plume of dirt would come at me if it didn't get tumbled. So even just laying it out on a skirting table does not do enough. And so that's why I tumble. And since that has already been done, the dirt's pretty much out, I am just gonna this will just take one wash. It's pretty quick, and that'll be it. So if you're at home and you bought some camelid fiber, alpaca, llama, whatever it may be, if you can figure out a way to really tumble it and get that dirt out, maybe you find an old bingo machine that would work. This one it's like kind of a chicken wire openings to it. So you don't want giant openings because the fiber is going to fall out. You want to be able to tumble it in a situation where the fibers stay in, but get rolled around kind of. That's the best thing I can think of. And obviously there are people that make them. Mine I happened to just find on Craigslist randomly one year. So that was exciting. Okay, I am going to finish this up. I'll let you see what it looks like once the water's in, because llama and alpaca do act differently once the water hits them. differently than wool, I should say. So, okay, I'm gonna finish up. We'll get washing. Okay, next up, talking about more llama. So I have got this, just looking at VM, chunky VM. This is more llama, but this is obviously very different than the other llama. I'll hold it up to you. This is probably a bit more traditional, what we think of when we think llama. So I am going to be blending this basically 50-50 with, this is one of my Shetlands. I'm pretty sure this is Taraji. I had Drilla written down, but I'm pretty sure it's Taraji. I absolutely love her fiber because similar to this llama, it has sort of a blue hue to it, and that's just a natural color. And actually I'm gonna start picking this. I'm at the picker here for those of you that are new. And what this machine does is it just literally, like, see how I'm opening up fiber? It does that more aggressively. And I'm doing that here because some of these llama fibers just got a little bit connected basically during, I think I tumbled this and washed it. So anyway, what this machine does is it blends and it opens the fibers up. So what I'm doing with my hands, it will take it to the next level and turn this all into a big pile of fluff, which we love because the carder then is ready for it and happy to have it all picked out. So we're gonna turn this on, and I'm just layering some of the llama on the bottom and then layering some wool on top. And in no particular manner, because I know by weight that this is 50-50. I weighed out, meaning that I weighed out a pound of the wool and I weighed out a pound of the llama, and that is what we are blending together. So when you're blending fibers, it is by weight. One of the questions I get asked a lot. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I put them one on top of the other, just because I could go like llama wool. You could do that. Sometimes there are fibers that will get a little bit more caught up in the rollers of the picker, and I tend to put them on the bottom. I don't know if it makes a difference. It's just in my head. It does, which, you know what, y'all, that's half of it, half the time. What's in our head. We'll get really deep here. So I'm just going along. If there's any like VM that I am afraid of, I will take out. By that, I just mean like bigger chunks of it that I don't want going through my machines. Little bits of grass, things like that, will tend to drop out in my machines, especially because this fiber is not fine, you know? So the finer the fiber is, the less likely you are for VM to drop out. In fact, really fine fibers, you don't get so lucky. Most of the time, what you put in the machine is what you're gonna get out. So I'm gonna go ahead and finish this batch up, and I'm gonna let you go over to the other side and see what it looks like as it's coming out. This is actually the end of this run. So I have already done most of it. And let me, oops, wrong way. So you can see, sorry, we're not battling. Sun in December is weird. I think it's almost 50 degrees too, which is incredibly weird. But there it is coming out. It's getting tossed into a shower because it's being just like air blown out of the machine by the force that's happening in there. And so if it didn't get contained, it would be all over the whole back of the mill building, which we don't want. So there it is. I'm gonna go ahead and finish up this last little batch, and then I'll open up the door and let you see how much fluffier this all looks. And now it's all combined together and ready for the carder. Okay, let's get this bad girl opened up, and the brush is there just to keep the doors a little more secure, because otherwise the fiber goes flying everywhere. And in case anybody's gonna ask, which sometimes happens, I am not wearing something that I hand knit. This is commercial, bought a million years ago. And that's because I tend not to wear my nice fibers here at the mill, because they will get snagged on stuff or dirty or whatever. So I'm a little more, I wear them on mill day, But okay, so here is our fiber all blended up. And what I will do is pull it out, and I'm just gonna, this is about 4 pounds. So this is what 4 pounds of the wall of fiber looks like. And I'll just kind of pull from different spots so that I'm continuing to blend it. And obviously the fiber is not gonna be like, you know, 100% exact through the whole thing as far as 50-50, but it's pretty darn close, honestly. I don't think that anybody would know the difference. So I'm just moving it over into these bins. I do not plan on conditioning this because it's pretty humid in here. I may, we'll see. We'll see how it's running. I may condition it just the tiniest bit, and I'll let you see what that looks like. I may, we'll see, we'll see. All right, there it is, all blended up. So now you have much less idea of, I mean, I can tell, you could probably tell if you know the fibers, but now it's all blended up. You can't necessarily tell the alpaca from the Shetland. And from this point, it'll go to the carder. So voila, onward we go. All right, you all, I wanted to pop in and let you see, I just pulled this. I thought I was filming, but I wasn't. So now you'll see it already in the drying rack. But here is that fiber that we were just washing, the llama, and here it is in all its glory. It's washed up really lovely, just one single wash. And now I'm just gonna, I have it laid out flat. I'll turn the fan on so that it dries overnight. It's of course not showing how dark it is. It's a little bit, it's quite a bit darker than what it's showing up, but it's really pretty. And I'm gonna, let's see if I can, well, I'm gonna have to do it with fibers in my hand, aren't I? Silly. Okay, let's see if you can see. So there's a guard hair right there. And you can see how different it is, not only the color, but just the consistency is different. So it's a little thicker, and some of those will drop out. Quite a few of them will drop out during processing, and a few will still be there. And like I said, it's not the worst thing. So I'm just gonna close these doors up, and you can kind of see, and the fan will kick back on. And you can see it blowing in, okay, the further away. Maybe that's better. A little bit scratched up. Okay, we're gonna head over to the carder and get that llama and Shetland carded up. Okay, at the carder, and I just did a big old clean on this. Not a big clean. I'll probably do a big clean very soon here because this will kind of, I'll run through anything that I think has guard hairs or is a little bit, you know, that I just don't want to put, like, that will transfer basically. So anything in this realm of fiber I'll run right now, and I'm not really sure if I've got more that I want to do. I'll probably do that fiber we just washed up with something, and then we'll just, I think I'll do a big clean and we'll head back to white for a while, because otherwise these hairs will kind of transfer out into the new fiber, and it's probably time for the machine to get a good cleaning anyway. So I don't think she's on. Let me turn her on and we'll get started on this fiber. I'm gonna get a little bit, I'm just behind you weighing a little more fiber out, because I do weigh out what goes on to the feed here so that it's fairly consistent for hand spinning. So in between these blue lines, I try to have the same amount of fiber is what I'm trying to get at, in case you haven't watched before. And we're gonna let the machine rev up for a minute here. She's gotta get a good amount of fiber through her. And then we'll go over and get some roving running. Hurrah, I think this is gonna be a really fun spin. I don't know that this will be next to skin. It may be, depending on who you are, right? And your sensitivity, but it's gonna have a really, really lovely drape. That llama is gonna add so much drape to the Shetland, and it will, I'm guessing, spin into a very thin yarn. Okay, let's go over and see if we're getting some fiber dropping here. Yes, we are. And even this fiber right now is going to be a lot heavier. I'm gonna lower you down than what we're used to if it's just wool. So I'm gonna have to wait for a minute here. You can see how it kind of wants to break. So we're gonna grab some of it and try to keep it together. And that's just from the density of that llama. There's a little bit of pink, so we'll pull that out. When I first start to run something, it kind of helps pull the last of what we were just working on out. So let's do what we do here and get our roving deck set up, which we do by just threading this little wire that has a hook on the end of it through the deck. Not very scientific or difficult. And then I am going to, I don't think I can, I don't know. It's so light you probably won't be able to see. But what I'm doing now is attaching the fiber into that hook. I think I can get you guys in there, but you can kind of see. So I'm just doing a little wrap to try to get the fiber to hang onto that hook, which with the llama fiber shouldn't be too hard. And we'll attach it and we'll see, you can kind of see I have a clump there attached to that. And I'm gonna get this all closed up and we'll see if we manage to make it work. Okay, 50-50 how this is gonna go. We may not have got enough fiber. Oh, it looks like we made it. Hurrah! All right, so there's our first fibers coming out. I just really love that color. It is gonna have that like natural blue. And this is gonna look really different in roving because those longer fibers of that llama that don't have that bounce back kind of make for a different, isn't that gorgeous? It's showing up a smidge darker, but I'm gonna pick it up and I'll let you see it up close. Have a little spot that lets me know. And of course we will spin this here before I go. Oof. All right, let's go look on the other side. See what we look like inside. There it is going in. Don't worry, I have the Hallmark channel on, you all. It's Christmas, it's Hallmark Christmas. So there's that. Let's open her up and you can take a peek inside. Pull back a little bit. See it going through all those rollers. And we'll go head over. So this is going to be a fiber that we will have our hands at a decent length from each other so that we don't pinch on ends of that staple length. And this wasn't even the longest llama. I actually looked for ones that were not terribly long, but isn't that color gorgeous? Ooh, I'm excited. Patrons over on Patreon, my paying subscribers over there will get first dibs at this. And then if there is anything left, it will go up onto the website. Sometimes I pull some aside for mill shop days. Most of the time I try to have a little pulled aside for mill shop days. So there's some options. Okay, you all, let's go spin some of this. All right, everyone, it is spinning time. And I have a chair here for those of you that are new. This is for Wish. I'm not sure, she may get wind that I'm sitting down, and it's always best just to have a spot for her. Don't know why I haven't figured that out earlier. Okay, so I did spin a smidge sample of this yesterday. So this is what we were working on. Oh, this is that pink from just a couple of weeks ago. Spectacular. Okay, so I'm at the Lendrum, single treadle, and getting ready to spin this Shetland and llama. And at home, I am working on the spin to knit along. Oh my gosh, you all, so beautiful to spin long draw. And man, does this want to spin up thin. So I'm keeping my backhand super light because some of these fibers are very long. And it's not gonna take I put it on the middle for twist. I probably could have done actually the higher whirl size because these fibers are longer, so they're not going to need as much twist, and it wants to spin pretty thin, so we don't want to over twist. I'm going to stop here in a sec, but especially when I'm on camera, I tend to underspin things, so Anyway, this is spinning up really beautiful. I forget what else I was gonna say, but so this is going to make a lovely, lovely draping yarn because that llama is gonna add more drape to it than the Shetland would have had. And so it's gonna be gorgeous. Like I said, I'm not sure if it'll be next to skin. Like, would I want it around my neck? Maybe not. But there's still plenty of other hats, mittens, outerwear, even, you know, shawls and things like that. A lot of times they're not, unless you're wrapping them around, you know, your neck, they're probably not, and it's actually not too bad now that I feel it, but totally depends on sensitivity. I'm gonna pull back a little bit and do a sample. Oh, I would think I was talking about the spin to knit along that we have going with the Shetland. I'm working on the e-spinner, which I don't do very often because I just am truly not an e-spinner type of spinner. And I can't really get comfortable spinning long draw, and literally physically I can't get comfortable spinning long draw on an e-spinner. I don't know, it's probably just something in my head. So I'm spinning it short forward, and then Erin came into the mill and she had all her Shetland for the spin to knit along, and she had spun it woolen, which was outside her comfort zone. I was a little jealous, Erin. I was like, oh, I should have done that, but that's okay. It's all good. It's all about the process, right? So anyway, it's nice to be spinning long draw is my point to that. And this is spinning like I don't have to do anything. My front hand can be there or not. I tend to use it to just help when after I let the wheel take some up just to smooth anything out. But really it doesn't need, nothing really needs me to, this is really beautiful. And it still has that beautiful hue to it. I'll stop here in a minute and let you see. And our spin to knit along is still going on. There's lots of people that have been posting in Ravelry. If you're in the Patreon community, there's a lot of people talking in there. Most of it is overlapping as people are trying to share both places, but we'll have a Zoom this weekend for, this is the 3-week mark. So those of you that are quietly spinning along at home, this weekend is the 3-week mark, which we had said was probably when you should start knitting. Although I say that, and a lot of people, we're 2.5 weeks in, and there's at least 4 to 5 people that have already spun all the fiber and knit their thing, knit their Hapkerchief, and they're so good. So you can jump into that Ravelry thread there and see what people have made, but it's so fun. It's so fun. And to see the colors, and then to take it up a notch, Christine, I asked her to share it on Ravelry. Christine, she finished her Hapkerchief, and then she made mittens out of what was left because there's a lot of yarn left, and they are adorable too. They're just gorgeous is what they are. So anyway, a lot of fun happening in there, and fun to see people's inspirations with color and how they're using the colors and everything. So hurrah. And lots of people learning more about their wheels and getting outside their comfort zone and getting away from their default spinning yarn. Okay, so let's soapbox for a minute, and then I'll let you see what we're working on here. So my soapbox, I just want to talk for a minute about, I mean, I'm so mad about so many things, but you know, like from watching videos of neighborhoods where ice is in them, and literally the administration has created spaces that are where people are living their everyday lives, and now they look like war zones simply because the ice agents are overreacting and spraying everybody with pepper spray and doing all these things and being super aggressive, while neighbors are just coming out trying to support the people in their community and make sure nothing illegal is happening. So the administration is creating war zones, basically. And I saw somebody comment on one saying, well, who would ever want to come visit this country? Totally fair. I don't know why anyone's seeing anything that's happening in this country right now. You know, like, where is the drive to come here and visit as a tourist, right? You're like, who knows what you're going to fall upon, much less how hard it is to sometimes get into the country right now. So that's its own detriment to our economy and to us as a whole. Anyway, it's all lunacy. It's all lunacy. So the pardons are driving me crazy. It's all driving me crazy, but the pardons, especially right now, are driving me crazy. So I went back and I looked up some of the pardons that Trump has done since he got into office this round. And of course, we know right off the bat, the January 6th rioters were all pardoned. And remember, these are people that are like convicted of crimes. This isn't just, we think you did this or we're accusing you of this. This is people who have gone through the judicial system and are convicted of crimes and are then said, no, you're cool, go home. And I realize that this happens in every presidency, but the level of it with some horrible people is mind-blowing. And so January 6th rioters, who are some of the other ones? So one of the ones that has driven me crazy since the beginning is Ross Ulbricht. So he was the founder of Silk Road, which was a dark web. I hate saying the words dark web. He founded this dark web site and he was convicted of drug trafficking online and also laundering money, among other things. And almost immediately he was pardoned. So where is our war on drugs? Where is our war on drugs? And for all of these people being pardoned, you have to stop and ask yourself, what is our president or this administration getting out of these pardons? Because let's face it, I think it's become clear they don't do anything unless it serves a purpose for them personally. Not for the country, but personally. So we had Ross, Devin Archer, who defrauded a Native American tribe of $60 million bond scam, convicted, pardoned. The Chrisleys, do you all remember them from the reality TV show? I mean, I don't know that they were great people on that. I honestly never watched it except for moments here and there. So they were pardoned. $30 million they were convicted of fraud and tax evasion. $30 million. There's just a laundry list of bribery, tax evasion, money laundering, of just the countless amount of people. In the millions and millions and millions of dollars these people did not pay, stole, were bribed. Imagine if rather than pardoning these people, we actually got some of that money and put it back into our economy, which is faltering. Imagine. But instead, just people keep being pardoned that were politically persecuted is many of the, and I think there's no point. But this most recent, the former leader of Honduras being pardoned, again, comes back to so you are killing people on boats, claiming that they are drug traffickers out of Venezuela, and yet we are freeing the dark web person, we are freeing the former leader of Honduras, who is convicted of moving more than 400 tons of cocaine into this country. So what is the administration getting out of letting these people off? And what is the country not getting by letting these people off, right? Because these are the whole point of so much of this ICE and of this basically trying to start a war with Venezuela supposedly is about drug trafficking. But it's not, right? Nothing is about, it's about accruing more wealth. It's about a cat that wants to be on my lap. And it's just infuriating to me. Meanwhile, our economy is faltering, and now they're the administration's switching to being worried about the economy for people, which basically means they're just saying the word economy. Economy is hard, that's all I hear. Because there's reports coming out of all the big businesses are starting to do loads of layoffs. They can't handle endless tariffs, and so the layoffs are coming. The job growth is minimal, to say the least. Costs for just us everyday people have skyrocketed. Costs for small business owners have skyrocketed. And we're all about to be hit in one way or another with the increase in healthcare costs. And whether that it's like me, where you are paying for your own healthcare, or whether you work for a company that you're lucky enough to have great welfare, that is going to turn around and hit people eventually, whether it's in the form of them having to pay more as employees on their healthcare costs, or whether it is them getting paid less, getting less raises. Somehow this is going to affect every person in this country. And it just infuriates me. And what do? We keep speaking up, right? We keep speaking up. We keep marching. We vote. We vote. We vote for all of us. And I'm so sad at how divided this country has become, in part from this administration, in part from social media. We all know the huge part that has played in this, and where people were also divided and angry and blaming each other, when the reality is we're all in the same boat here. We should all be fighting for each other, not against each other. There are very specific people we should be voicing our opinions and voting against, and those are the people in the current administration right now who are not for any of us. They're not fighting for any of us. So, and on one quick last note, I think last week, I will put a link in the show notes, but the Daily did audio podcast. The New York Times Daily did an audio podcast on what it's like being the parent of trans kids right now. And it followed the journey of one family with their child that is transitioning and going through hormone therapy, and what it has been like for them. And it is heartbreaking. It's infuriating. It is amazing at the same time to hear a family that is so supportive of their children, as I would wish and hope, and I know it doesn't come to that, but it should be for every child out there going through that. Anyway, I strongly urge you to listen to it, because you may cry several times, like I'm trying not to do right now, but we are all equal and we're all people, and we shouldn't be fighting against each other. We should be fighting against an administration that is trying to divide us and tear us down. So there's my thoughts for this week. That is like the most minimal of my thoughts, but we've got fiber to talk about too, I suppose, right? So let me show you. I stopped. Yes, I did. Okay, let me show you what this looks like. And I am going to pull it off because I kind of want you to see. I'm going to come in close and let you see what this looks like when I pull it off, because you'll get a really good idea of that drape and what the llama is doing to it. So, told you Wish would come for that spot. Do you see her right now? That's not a comfortable chair, so she won't stay there, but that is her favorite thing to do, is to steal chairs. And the mill shop, I should mention, is open for the next 3 Saturdays, basically the Saturdays leading up to the holiday. And also I should mention that I will be doing an in-person Learn to Spin on a Spinning Wheel class. It is set for January 10th. And if you have been looking to learn to handspin and you are in the area, or you want to travel to the area, I am doing a class on the Saturday where you'll learn. There'll be a follow-up on Sunday. And for those of you that are local, or if you want to come back, there will be a follow-up the following Saturday. So some fun things happening. Okay, let's see this. I just want you to see. I think you can. So do you see how much drape that like, it's so night and day, the difference between this and if you had wool. And you can see how much it's just like lovely hanging there. And that's what the llama is going to do to the wool. Look at that color. Isn't that stunning? Oh, I love it. Let me show you it in case you can't get a good. There it is on the wheel. Look how nice it looks with that blue or that like pink. Oh, it's perfection. Okay, let me turn around and we'll say goodbye. Wish is all ready. I'm going to sit in her chair, you all. Okay, I'm back. So we'll say our goodbyes. All the fiber I make on here goes into the patrons over in Patreon. Get first dibs at fiber as it comes off. And so if you're interested in the fibers I make here, or in being part of a really awesome online community, jump into my Patreon. It not only introduces you to other fiber people and fun things in the community, but it also supports the time I take to make these videos when I should be making fiber, and to educate. So I hope that you all, anyway, jump into Patreon. If not, get on my newsletter for updates. And yeah, sometimes there's actually fiber in the online shop. So, and I've got some fun new stuff coming in soon that I hope to get into the online shop for those of you not right here. So thank you all so much for watching and for staying to the end. I appreciate every one of you. Oh my gosh, you all. The Bob and Brad, the hand massager, if you did not watch it, it's 2 weeks ago. I'll put a link in the show notes to to that episode, and also a link that gives you a discount code to purchase the hand massager that I did a review on. I can't believe how many people went and grabbed one. I am so excited because I still use it basically every night, and Mitch then takes it and uses it like every night. So if you haven't watched that episode, I'll put a link to it, and it's towards the end when I'm sitting and doing this, I'm pretty sure. And there'll be a link in the show notes to get that. Oh my gosh, please comment if I haven't heard from you and you got one of the hand massagers, because I'm so excited to hear what you think of it. Like I said, we still use it every night. So anyway, awesome. I appreciate every single one of you here in the community. And until next week, stay healthy, be kind to your neighbor. Like I said before, this should not be us against each other. This should be us fighting for each other against what's going on in our country right now. And finally, don't forget to make time for yourself. I was just listening to a podcast about, even if it's just 5-10 minutes as you're like scrambling it in parts of your day, make time for yourself to make in whatever form that is. So make so many pretty things. Until I see you next week, and Wish sends her love as well. Thank you so much, everybody. Take care. Choo-choo.